Hi, this is Cheryl Gallant, your Conservative Member of Parliament for the private property rights supporting riding of Algonquin, Renfrew-Pembroke. This week in Ottawa, we elected a new Speaker, had a visit from the King, Charles III, the Liberals possibly breaking the law again, and a speech from the throne that renewed the Liberals' commitment to expropriate 30% of the land currently being used in Canada. To start off each new parliament, members must come together to vote by secret ballot for a new speaker. I'd like to congratulate Francis Scarpalagia on being elected to speaker. As my friend and former Speaker Andrew Scheer noted in his speech congratulating Mr. Scarpalagia, being the Speaker is not an easy job. Between 1394 and 1535 in our mother parliament, 7 speakers of the House of Commons were beheaded. Fortunately for the current speaker, King Charles III isn't known for saying "off with their heads" very often. Now, Andrew was not the only one to mention history in his congratulatory speech to the speaker. Take a listen to what our new Prime Minister had to say.
I will make mistakes. I have no doubt that you will call them out for good reason. Because this House has rules, it has traditions, and it's on those traditions that our Athenian democracy is founded.
Mark Carney calling Canada an Athenian democracy and America a Roman republic is an interesting choice. After all, the Romans conquered Athens and made it a province. But in all fairness, Carney said that Canada is like the golden age of Athenian democracy. The golden age of Athenian democracy occurred hundreds of years before the rise of Rome. That historical period is best remembered for the execution of Socrates for challenging the elite opinion. Now, I can't be sure if Carney even knows who Socrates was.
Socrates. Hey, we know that name.
Yeah. Hey, look him up. Oh, it's under Socrates.
Oh, yeah.
While it's unlikely Carney will be restoring an Athenian democracy built on slavery, if he offers some tea, however, I think I'm going to pass. As the Dean of the Conservative Caucus, it is my legal obligation to fulfill the requirements of the Reform Act. That means I had to chair the execution of 4 recorded votes on 4 separate questions, and possibly a 5th, depending on the results of the latter. That is what the law clearly says. 4 recorded votes. The outcome of each vote must be reported to the Speaker as soon as is feasible. My colleagues voted 4 times, and the results of the 4 votes reported to the Speaker as soon as feasible. On Sunday, the Liberal Dean called her colleagues together. According to the Canadian press, the Liberals did not hold 4 votes. For recorded votes. They moved a motion and rejected adopting the Reform Act, as if it's a choice. It's the law. It's clear the Liberals have learned nothing from life under Trudeau. By surrendering their judgment and giving Mark Carney absolute power over them, the Liberal MPs betrayed their constituents. They do not represent Canadians in the House of Commons. They represent the Prime Minister to Canadians. That's the opposite of democracy. Liberal MPs should be ashamed of themselves, but they're too arrogant to realize this. This week, I sent a letter to our new Prime Minister. I asked him to apologize to Canadians for lying to them during the election. On a campaign stop, Carney claimed that under Trudeau, Canada had conserved 15% of land and waters. Apparently, Carney has spent so much time outside Canada that he doesn't know that national parks existed before Trudeau. The truth is that Trudeau only conserved 3.5% of Canada. That's the same amount of land that was conserved under the Conservative government of Canada, under Stephen Harper. So it took 20 years to conserve 7% of Canada. After lying to Canadians, Carney committed to conserve another 15% of Canada's land in the next 5 years. This is unrealistic. It's not a serious proposal, but it is a big, shiny distraction. This promise to protect 30% of Canada by 2030 is only the third actual target in the international treaty the Liberals signed Canada onto. The first target calls for massive new environmental regulations across the country. The second target calls for Canada to restore 30% of its developed land by 2030. That's the target which should set off sirens for anyone who owns real estate in Canada. If the Liberals are serious, it would cost trillions, not millions, not billions, trillions of dollars. It would require a 100% tax hike for years, so 100% tax rate for years. The only other option would be for the government to seize the land and water. The Liberals will say, oh, that's fake news, that they have no plans to steal Canadians' property. That leaves just two options. Either they signed a treaty for which they had no plans to implement, lied to the world, and tarnished Canada's reputation, or they are serious about implementing a treaty that was co-authored by the Liberals' proud socialist minister and the communists who control China. What I can promise you is that I won't stop fighting this attack on your property rights. Live from Ottawa, this is Cheryl Gallant.